Okay, so if you're watching this, more than likely you or a family member has had the unfortunate experience of having some kids taken into DHS custody, which in Arkansas that's the Department of Human Services, or CPS, which is Child Protective Services in a lot of other states in the country. Something has happened, children have been taken into care, and now you've got a full-blown legal proceeding going on, and you're trying to figure out what to do to get these kids back. Either you're a parent, uncle, aunt, grandparent, and you've now been put into this unfortunate situation. So why are you losing your case? If the case has been going on for a little while now and you just feel behind the eight ball and that things are not going your way and you don't understand what's going on, and you feel like you're losing, that the case is going against you, why is that happening? Well, in 17 years of doing these, I've seen three things that cause a lot of people to be losing their DHS case. So you need to look at these things. Now, there may be something else in your case going on, but these three things seem to crop up more than anything else. The first is, and you've got to realize this from the very beginning, DHS or CPS sees you as guilty from the very beginning. Before you have even uttered a word out of your mouth, they see you as guilty. And you've got to understand that. Is it fair? No. Is it the right way to handle it? No. Is that how they're going to handle it? Yes. Every single time. They are going to see you as guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. Now remember, it's not right, but that's what you're dealing with. And to win this case and to get it turned in your favor, you're going to have to play their game. There is no other way around it. They're going to give you a game plan, and it's called a case plan. They're going to give that to you. They're going to give you the roadmap to get those kids back. And it's up to you to make sure that you follow it. But start off understanding their mindset, and it'll give you a little bit more peace of mind of how to handle this process and handle the case, especially when you're talking with your attorney. Because the attorneys see it all the time and they know how to deal with it, but you don't see it all the time. And so it can be a little disturbing and upsetting when you have these people treating you as if you're already some kind of criminal before you've even had your day in court. But that's how it's going to happen. And that is how they're going to look at it, and that's how they're going to look at you. But you can change that. That's the good news out of all this. So remember, right from the beginning, you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. That's how they're going to see you. Second reason you may be losing your DHS or CPS case, you're not following the case plan. Not long after the kids are taken into custody, there will be, in Arkansas, it's called a staffing. That's a meeting where you will meet with the caseworker, the attorney for DHS, your attorney can go, you will be there. Many times foster parents will be there. An attorney for the children, usually called an ad litem. In Arkansas, it's an attorney ad litem, will be there. And everybody gets together and they talk about what needs to happen in this case. Well, who needs to do what? They're going to give you a series of things that you've got to complete. It's a to-do list, and it's different services that need to be provided. You might need anger management. You might need a drug assessment and drug counseling. You might need parenting classes. There are a myriad of different things that they may give you to do on your case plan. You have to follow it. There is no other way around it. And chances are, when someone comes to me halfway through their case, they're 6 or 7 months down the road, they've been to the probable cause hearing, they've been to the adjudication, they've been to a review, maybe 2 review hearings, and they come in and say, I need your help. My attorney's not doing anything for me. First question I always ask is, where are you on the case plan? And invariably, they have not completed the case plan, or they're not doing different parts of it. So it's not the attorney's fault. It's not DHS's fault. DHS attorney, that caseworker that hates me, it's none of those people's fault. It's the fault of the client, the parent, not getting the case plan done. So you've got to follow that case plan to a T. Now, understand these caseworkers are overworked. They're not paid enough and they're overworked. So when you try to get them on the phone, many times you're going to get nothing. And the problem comes in when they have the information you need to set these services up. Either they have the counseling information, they have the parenting class information, they have all this other stuff that they're supposed to provide to you, and they haven't, and you can't get them on the phone, can't get them to answer an email, certainly can't go by their office. You've got to be persistent. And that may be when you need to get your attorney involved to write them a letter and say, hey, and send it to everybody. Hey, my client's trying to contact you and get every single piece of information they need to get these services provided, and you're not calling back. What's going on? Then when you go to court the next time at the review hearing, your attorney or you, if you're representing yourself, can get up and say, Judge, here's 3 emails that I've sent to this caseworker with no response. That's why this isn't getting done. But if the caseworker's sitting over there and saying, here's all my responses to those emails, and I talked to the person on the phone, and they're just not doing it, that's when you're in trouble. Follow the case plan. Do everything you can to make sure you know what's on the case plan, get a copy of it from the caseworker, your attorney, whoever, and follow it. Because there aren't many guarantees in the law. One way I can almost guarantee you that you're going to lose your case is don't follow the case plan. And if you don't follow it long enough, and if your failure to comply with it is serious enough, you can lose kids. That's just the way it is. So if you're losing your DHS case, get that case plan out and make sure you're following it. Because if you're not, that is the number one reason you will lose your DHS or CPS case. Finally, and this is the third reason, and there are other reasons too, but these are the 3 that came to mind. DHS just doesn't like you. Now, they will get an initial impression about family members at the very outset of the case, about the parents, about the grandparents, whoever's close to these kids. They will get an initial opinion, and I call it the train leaving the station on that track. And either that's a good track for us, and DHS likes us, and they're going to help us get through this case plan and get these kids back, or that train has left on a track that they don't like you. And so I call it, we've got to get the train back on the track that we want, which is them liking you. Now, I know this seems petty, and it doesn't seem right, and it's not, but they are just like any other human being, these caseworkers and these investigators, and they get an initial impression of you, and they keep that impression. And they will try to fit the evidence and the case plan to fit that impression. So if they don't like you or they think you're a bad parent, you're in for a long haul. But you've got to figure that out early and figure out if they're against you early, because if they are, you're going to have to figure out how to change their mindset. And the biggest way to do that is to go back to number 2, and that is promptly and expediently comply with that case plan. But understand, they're human too, and one reason you may be losing your case is they just don't like you. Because I have clients all the time, we're following the case plan moving along, and DHS is still trying to terminate their rights and get an adoption set because they just don't like you. They either don't believe you, they don't like you, they don't like how you parent. Who knows? But that is a mindset that could be killing your case. So those are 3 things to look for in your DHS or Child Protective Services case. And if you can get those things corrected, you're going to have a lot better chance at success, especially if you talk with your attorney about them and stay in good communication with your attorney about what's going on in your case. Thanks, and I hope that helps.